teachers, judges, and my fellow students, welcome to the Primary English Elocution Competition 2021. Elocution not only helps children develop better communication skills, but it also helps them develop confidence and the ability to shed off inhibitions and express themselves fearlessly. Hence, here we are, back again with the annual Inter-House English Elocution Competition. Because we at Dhirubhai Ambani International School believe that the show must go online.
The English Elocution Competition is a popular inter-house competition and many of our children have auditioned for it. The elimination was tough and our teachers have finalized on 3 children per house per level. These finalists will recite their poems today. The competition is divided into 2 levels. Level 1 for standards 1 and 2, level 2 for standards 3 and 4. The finalists will be representing the 4 houses per level with 3 finalists representing each house. The points that the finalists score will be added to their house points. So, good luck to all our finalists and may the best speakers win.
Now, for the rules of this competition. Children will be marked equally on expressions, clarity, diction, voice projection, and engagement. Before we begin, I would like to introduce you to our judges for today. They are familiar teachers you may have seen around school. Mrs. Amelie Munro teaches English in grades 8, 9 and 10 in the national curriculum. Ms. Kavita DAIS teaches psychology and theory of knowledge in the IB sections. Ms. Nisha Manihar teaches English in the IB and IGCSE sections. Good luck, participants! And now we begin.
I think my dad is Dracula by Ken Nesbitt. I think my dad is Dracula. I know that sounds insane, but listen for a moment and allow me to explain. We don't live in a castle and we never sleep in caves, but still there's something weird about the way my dad behaves. I never see him go out in the daytime when it's light. He sleeps all day till evening, then he leaves the house at night. He comes home in the morning saying, "Man, I'm really dead." He kisses us goodnight and then by sunrise he's in bed. My mom heard my suspicion and she said, "You're not too swift. Your father's not a vampire. He just works the graveyard shift." Thank you.
The Duck and the Kangaroo by Edward Lear. Said the duck to the kangaroo, "Good gracious, how you hop over the fields and the water too, as if you never would stop. My life is a bore in this nasty pond, and I long to go out in the world beyond. I wish I could hop like you," said the duck to the kangaroo. "Please give me a ride on your back," said the duck to the kangaroo. I would sit quite still and see nothing but quack the whole of the long day through. And we'd go to the tea and the jelly bolly, over the land and over the sea. "Please take me a ride, oh do," said the duck to the kangaroo. Said the kangaroo to the duck, "This requires some little reflection. Perhaps, on the whole, it might bring me luck. And there seems but one objection, which is, if you let me speak so bold, your feet are unpleasantly wet and cold, and would probably give me the rheumatiz," said the kangaroo. Said the duck, "As I sat on the rocks, I have thought over that completely, and I bought 4 pairs of worsted socks which fit my web feet neatly. And to keep out the cold, I bought a cloak and every day a cigar I'll smoke, all to follow my own dear true love of a kangaroo. Said the kangaroo, I'm ready on the moonlight pail, but to balance me well, dear duck, sit steady and quite at the end of my tail. So away they went with a hop and a bound, and they hopped the whole world 3 times round. And who's so happy? Oh, who? As the duck and the kangaroo. Thank you.
Good afternoon, friends and teachers. My name is Tiana Dharia from Class 1B, Jaguar House. I am going to be reciting a poem called Homework, Oh Homework by Jack Preluski. Homework, oh homework, I hate you, you stink. I wish I could wash you away in the sink. If only a bomb would explode you to bits. Homework, oh homework, you're giving me fits. I'd rather take bath with a man-eating shark, or wrestle a lion alone in the dark. Eat spinach and liver, pet 10 porcupines, then tackle the homework my teacher assigns. Homework, oh homework, you're last on my list. I simply can't see why you even exist. If you just disappeared, it would tickle me pink. Homework, oh homework, I hate you, you stink. Thank you.
Godfrey Gordon Gustave by William Wright Rand. Godfrey Gordon Gustave. No doubt you've heard that name before. He was a boy who never would shut a door. The wind might whistle, the wind might roar, and teeth be aching and throat be sore. But still, he never would shut the door. His father would beg, his mother implore, Godfrey Gordon Gustave. We really do wish you would shut the door. Their hands they wrung, their hair they tore, but Godfrey Gordon Gustave was deaf as a boy out of the know. When he walked forth, their folks would roar, Godfrey Gordon Gustave, why don't you think to shut the door? They rigged up a shutter with sail and all, and threatened to back off Gustave on a voyage of penance to Singapore. But he begged for mercy and said, no more. Pray do not send me to Singapore on the shuttle, and then I will shut the door. You will, said his parents, then keep on shore. But mind you do, for the plague is sore, a fellow that never will shut the door. Godfrey Gordon Gustave. Thank you.
Turn off the TV by Bruce Lansky. My father gets quite mad at me. My mother gets upset when they catch me watching our new television set. My father yells, turn that thing off. Mom says, it's time to study. I'd rather watch my favorite TV show with my best buddy. I sneak down after homework and turn the set on low. But when she sees me watching it, my mom yells out, no! Dad says, if you don't turn that thing off, I will hang it from a tree.
I'd rather doubt he'll do it because he watches more than me. He watches sports all weekend and weekday evenings too, while munching chips and pretzels. The room looks like a zoo. So, if he ever got the nerve to hang it from a tree, he'd spend a lot of time up there watching it with me. Thank you. Hello everyone, my name is Rishka Agarwal and I'm from 1A. Two Dead Boys by Tyler Rajor. Ladies and gentlemen, skinny and stout, I'll tell you a tale I know nothing about. The admission is free, so pay at the door. Now pull up a chair and sit on the floor. One bright day in the middle of the night, two dead boys got up to fight. Back to back, they faced each other, drew their swords and shot each other. A blind man came to watch fair play. A mute man came to shout, "Hooray!" A deaf policeman heard the noise and came to stop those two dead boys. A man with no legs came walking by and kicked the lawman in his thigh. He crashed through a wall without making a sound into a dry creek bed and suddenly drowned. The long black horse came to kite him away, but he ran for his life and is still gone today. I watched from the corner of the big round table, the only eyewitness to facts of my fable. But if you doubt my lies are true, just ask the blind man. He saw it too. Thank you.
Matilda who told lies and was burned to death by Hilaire Belloc. Matilda told such dreadful lies, it made one gasp and stretch one's eyes. Her aunt, who from her earliest youth had kept a strict regard for truth, attempted to believe Matilda. The effort very nearly killed her, and would have done so had not she discovered this infirmity. For once, towards the close of day, Matilda grew tired of play, and finding she was left alone, went tiptoe to the telephone and summoned the immediate aid of London's noble fire brigade. Within an hour, the gallant band were pouring in on every hand, until Matilda's aunt succeeded in showing them they were not needed. It happened that a few weeks later, her aunt was off to the theatre to see that interesting play, The Second Mrs. Tanqueray. She had refused to take her niece to hear this entertaining piece, a declaration just and wise to punish her for telling lies. That night, a fire did break out. You should have heard Matilda shout. You should have heard her scream and bawl and throw the window up and call,
Matilda and the house were burned. Thank you. Being Brave at Night by Edgar Guest. The other night, about 2 o'clock, or maybe it was 3, an elephant with shining tusks came chasing after me. His trunk was waving in the air and spouting jets of steam. And he was out to eat me up. But still, I didn't scream or let him see that I was scared. A better thought I had. I just escaped from where I was and crawled in bed with Dad. One time there was a giant who was horrible to see. He had 3 heads and 20 arms, and he came after me. And red hot fire came from his mouth, and every hand was red. And he declared he'd grind my bones and make them into bread. But I was just too smart for him. I fooled him mighty bad. Before his hands could collar me, I crawled in bed with Dad. I ain't scared of nothing that comes pestering me at night. Once I was chased by 40 ghosts, all shimmery and white. And I just raced him round the room and let him think that maybe I'd have to stop and rest a while when they could capture me. Then when they leapt onto my bed, oh gee, but they were mad to find that I had slipped away and crawled in bed with Dad. No giants, ghosts or elephants have dared to come in there. Cause if they did, he'd beat them up and chase them to their lair. They just hang around in children's rooms and snap and snarl and bite and laugh if they can make them yell for help with all their might. But I don't ever yell out loud. I'm not that sort of lass. I just slip from out the covers and crawl in bed with Dad. Thank you.
Hello everybody, my name is Advik Khanna. I'm from class 2B and my house is Tigers. Today I'm going to recite a poem called Dan, the Cat and the Tree by Kit Wright. This morning the cat got stuck in a tree. Dad said, right, just leave it to me. The tree was wobbly, the tree was tall. Mom said, for goodness sake, don't fall. Paul scoffed Dad, a climber like me. Child's play this is. You wait and see. He got up the ladder from the garden shed. It slipped. He landed in the flower bed. Never mind, said Dad, brushing the dirt off his hair and his face and trousers and shirt. We'll try plan B. Stand out of the way. Mom said, don't fall again, okay? Fall again, said Dad. Funny joke. Then he swung himself up on a branch. It broke. Dad landed wallop back on the deck. Mom said, stop it. You'll break your neck. Run, said Dad. Now I'll try plan C. Easy as winking to a climber like me. Then he climbed up high on the garden wall. Guess what? He didn't fall. He gave a great leap and landed flat in the crook of the tree trunk. Right on the cat. The cat gave a yell, meow, and sprang to the ground. Please, there's Punch to be safe and sound. So it's smiling and smirking, smug as can be, but poor Dad still stuck up the tree. Thank you.
Daddy is making dinner by Jeff Monda. Daddy is making dinner. Huh, I've seen it all before. French fries black and burning and meatloaf on the floor. Daddy is making dinner. The sugar bowl just broke. Fido ate the gravy and the house was filled with smoke. Daddy is making dinner I have no one to mourn. So Neil surrendered and go pick up the phone. Daddy made the dinner. Today is my lucky day. Dinner's in the trash can and pizza's on the way. Thank you.
The Spider and the Fly by Mary Howard. When you walk into my parlor, said a spider to a fly. This the prettiest little parlor that ever did you spy. The way into my parlor is up that one big stair, and I have many pretty things to show you when you are there. Oh no, no, said the little fly. To ask me isn't vain, for those who go up your winding stair can never come down again. Sweet creature, said the spider, you're witty and you're wise. How handsome are your gauzy wings, how brilliant are your eyes. I have a little looking glass upon my parlor shelf. If you'll step in one moment, dear, you shall behold yourself. I thank you, gentle sir, she said, for what you're pleased to say, and bidding you good morning now, I'll call another day. Alas, alas, how very soon this silly little fly, hearing his wily, flattering words, came slowly floating by. With buzzing wings she hung aloft, then nearer and nearer drew, thinking only of a brilliant eye, green and purple hue, thinking only of a crested head. Poor foolish thing! At last, up jumped the cunning spider and held her fiercely fast. He dragged her up his winding stairs into his dismal den within his little parlor, but she never came out again. Thank you.
Be glad your nose is on your face by Jack Preluski. Be glad your nose is on your face, not pasted on some other place. For if it were where it is not, you might dislike your nose a lot. Imagine if your precious nose was sandwiched between your toes. That clearly would not be a treat, for you would be forced to smell your feet. Your nose would be a source of dread, for it attached atop your head. It soon would drive you to despair, forever tickled by your hair. Within your ear, your nose would be an absolute catastrophe, for when you were obliged to sneeze, your brain would rattle from the breeze. Your nose, instead too thick and thin, remains between your eyes and chin, not pasted on some other place. Be glad your nose is on your face. Thank you.
That was an impressive round of recitation by the students of classes 1 and 2. Now, it's time to move on to level 2, where we will be having students from grades 3 and 4 recite their poems. Good luck to the participants.
The Biggest Burp Ever by Ken Nesbitt. The record so far for the world's biggest burp is held by Belinda McNutt. It wasn't on purpose. She wasn't to blame. Her tummy just rumbled, and out the burp came. Belinda then instantly saw her mistake. The ground
began trembling and starting to shake. That rumble was suddenly more of a roar. It busted the windows and knocked down the doors. Her mother and father both covered their ears. Her brother and sister were nearly in tears. Her puppy looked panicked and yipped as he fled. Her kitten just cowered and covered his head. The cars on the street began skidding and stopping. The shoppers in shops began dropping their shopping. The squirrels all burrowed. The birds flew away. The sun disappeared for the rest of the day as clouds began thundering all around town. The trees toppled over. The buildings fell down. Tornadoes and hurricanes blew through the sky. The rivers flowed backwards. The oceans ran dry. Volcanoes erupted from Perth to Peru. The Grand Canyon widened. Mount Everest grew. The earth started spinning in a different direction. And worst of all, I lost my iPhone connection. Belinda was pretty embarrassed, all right. But she was well-mannered and very polite. And that's why she knew it would all be okay when she said, "Excuse me, excuse me, excuse me," and went on her way. Thank you.
The Porcupine by Roald Dahl. Each Saturday I shout, "Hooray!" for that's my pocket money day. So after breakfast, 50p, my generous father gave to me. Like lightning down the road I ran until I reached the sweet shop man and bought the chocolates of my dreams. A great big bag of raspberry creams. There is a secret place I know, shh, where I quite often like to go. Beyond the woods, behind some rocks, a super place for guzzling chalks. When I arrived, I quickly found a comfy-looking little mound, quite clean and round and earthy brown. Just right, I thought, for sitting down. Here I will sit all morning long and eat until my chalks are gone. I sat. I screamed. Ouch! I jumped a foot. Would you believe that I had put that tender little rump of mine upon a giant porcupine? My backside seemed to catch on fire. 100 red-hot bits of wire, 100 prickles sticking in and puncturing my precious skin. I ran for home. I shouted, "Mom, behold the prickles in my bum." My mum, who always keeps her head, bent down to look, and then she said, "I personally am not about to try and pull all those prickles out. I think a job like this requires the services of Mr. Myers." I shouted, "No, not the dentist, no. Oh, Mum, won't you have a go?" I begged her twice grown-ups, you see, never ever take advice. Enter the dreaded Mr. Myers, waving a massive pair of pliers. This is, he said with obvious glee, a new experience for me. Quite honestly, I can't pretend I've ever pulled things from this end. He started pulling one by one, yelling, "My, oh my, what fun, what fun!" I shouted, "Help!" I shouted, "Ow!" He said, "It's nearly over now. For heaven's sake, don't squirm out. There goes, the last one's coming out. Ooh!" So that was that. Phew! Oh, what a day! Oh, what a fuss! But, by the way, I think I know why porcupines surround themselves with prickly spines. It is to stop some silly clown from squashing them by sitting down. So, don't copy me. Don't be a twit. Be sure to look before you sit. Thank you.
Good morning, teachers and friends. I am Priyana Dharia from Class 3A Jaguar House. I am going to be reciting a poem called Two Dead Boys by Tyler Rager. Ladies and gentlemen, skinny and stout, I'll tell you a tale I know nothing about. The admission is free, so pay at the door. Now pull up a chair and sit on the floor. One bright day in the middle of the night, two dead boys got up to fight. Back to back they faced each other, drew their swords and shot each other. A blind man came to watch fair play. A mute man came to shout, "Hooray!" A deaf policeman heard the noise and came to stop those two dead boys. He lived on the corner in the middle of the block in a 2-story house on a vacant lot. A man with no legs came walking by and kicked the lawman in his thigh. He crashed through a wall without making a sound into a dry creek bed and suddenly drowned. The long black horse came to cart him away, but he ran for his life and is still gone today. I watched from the corner of the big round table, the only eyewitness to facts of my fable. But if you doubt my lies are true, just ask the blind man. He saw it too. Thank you. In Your Heart by Thomas S. Carver. He was so proud of his little girl. It was her very first day of school. He walked with her to school that day and she held his hand all the way. They walked together, quiet and sad, a little girl and her loving dad. Into the school her father led, but he almost cried when she said, "Daddy, Daddy, please don't go. Don't leave me here all alone. I'll miss you if you go away and I might need you. Can't you stay?"
Little daughter, please don't cry. You'll be okay, so dry your eyes. You have our memories in your heart. We're together, though we're apart.
He sat up front on her wedding day and cried as his daughter walked away. Later that night, he watched her dance. He sat there waiting for his chance. The band started to play their song. Father and daughter
danced along. She looked at him and saw a tear, then leaned and whispered in his ear, "Daddy, Daddy, I have to go. I hate to leave you all alone. I'll miss you when I go away, but if you need me, then I'll stay." "Little daughter, I'll be just fine. I love you always. You are mine. I have our memories in my heart. We're together, though we're apart." She came in his room and kissed his head, then sat next to his hospital bed. He took her hand and held it tight and wished he had the strength to fight. They sat together, quiet and sad, a daughter and her dying dad. He saw the tears she tried to hide. She looked at him and then she cried, "Daddy, Daddy, please don't go. Don't leave me here all alone. I'll miss you if you go away, and I still need you. You have to stay."
"Little daughter, I love you so. I want to stay, but have to go. I'll always be here in your heart. We're together, though we're apart."
Thank you.
The Mouse and the Snake by Vikram Seth. Adapted by me, Arif Gopalakrishnan. One fine morning, two small mice, much against their friends' advice, visited a room where grain, undisturbed for months, had lain. Other mice had entered, but none lived to eat and tell, not one. But the two friends, unpoliced, broke in and began to feast, and their laughter fell and rose till their blood with horror rose. Gold and shiny, vicious, long, venom fang, hypnotic, strong, slid a snake towards the bear, swallowed one right then and there, hissed obscenely at the other. And when she stood, shocked and still, trying at once to make his skill, glared at him and twitched her nose every time he slid or sprang, ripping venom from each fang. Out beyond his reach she leapt, till the snake, grown tired, crept to his hole with first his head, then his gleaming, overfed trunk in, with just his tail jutted out to thrash and flail. Swift as rain, the little mouse rushed towards the killer's house, bit his tail once, twice, again, clung to it till wired with pain. Hissing wrath, the snake backed out, swerved his body round about, lunged towards the little mouse and tried swallowing her, but she leapt wide. Every time he lunged, till the snake, wriggling back exhaustedly, slid inside his hole once more. This the battle
when the snake, without a sound, spat the dead mouse on the ground and with mangled slither stole unopposed into his hole. Then the mouse came up and cried, bitter tears for her who died, squeaking sadly and bereft, corpse in mouth, she sobbed and left. Sad and stoic, her act was heroic. Acts that prove that shock and pain, death and grief are not in vain. Thank you.
Vacation Resolution by Leno Hetrick. I'm not getting up tomorrow, though I hear my mother call. Waffles and honey for breakfast. I'll turn my face, totty wall. I'm not getting up, though my friends come, yelling, we're off to the river. I just close my eyes and sleep, without a regretful shiver. The first day of vacation, oh grand and glorious feeling. The solid bed beneath me, above the tear-hole ceiling. And I won't get up, I tell you, to dine with a golden cup. Not even if the president calls, still I won't get up. Thank you.
I am the people, the mob, by Carl Sandburg. I am the people, the mob, the crowd, the mass. Do you know that all the great work of the world is done through me? I am the working man, the inventor, the maker of the world's food and clothes. I am the audience that witnesses history. The Napoleons come from me, and the Lincolns. They die, and then I send forth more Napoleons and Lincolns. I am the seed ground. I am a prairie that will stand from much plowing. Terrible storms pass over me. I forget. The best of me is sucked out and wasted. I forget. Everything but death comes to me and makes me forget what I have, and I forget. Sometimes I growl, shake myself and spatter a few red drops for history to remember. Then I forget. When I, the people, learn to remember. When I, the people, use the lessons of yesterday and no longer forget who wronged me last year, who played me for a fool then, there will be no speaker in all the world save the name the people, with any fleck of a sneer in his voice or any far or smile of derision. The mob, the crowd, the mass will arrive then. Thank you.
Anything but mediocre by Samantha Witch. Grown-ups always ask me what I want to be when I get older. I don't want to be rude and give them the cold shoulder.
How should I know just yet? I'm only 9 years old. Can't we wait to see how my future will unfold? Maybe I'll be a doctor and wear a long white coat. Sick people will visit me and I'll fix their sore throats. I'll listen to their heartbeat and look into their ears. When they see how nice I am, it'll wash away their fears. I could be an architect and design buildings that scrape the sky. My office would be in a tower 1,000 stories high. I'd help draw airports, houses, and maybe even your school. Safe and strong construction will be my golden rule. The first woman president, maybe that's what I'll be. Then I'll live in the White House in Washington, D.C. I'll help write new bills and bring them into law. Everyone will say I'm the best leader they ever saw. A ballet dancer would be a wonderful job to do. My outfit could always include a fluffy pink tutu. Sometimes I'd have a partner, but I'd also dance alone. All the length of Broadway, my name would be known. I could be a teacher like Mr. Bettelbright. My students would learn quickly how to read and write. We would tackle many subjects, even read Shakespeare. Maybe someday I'll be awarded Teacher of the Year. Will I ever decide on the job that's right for me? Maybe Mom can help me what the choice could be. She always has the answers at any time of the day. Mom knows the best response for me to say. Just as suspected, Mom's full of good advice. She has the best answer, smart but nice. Show them you're confident and never be a joker. Tell them you'll grow up to be anything but mediocre. Thank you.
Good afternoon, teachers. Today I will be reciting the poem Tea with Auntie Mabel. It is written by Jean Willis. If you ever go to tea with my Auntie Mabel, never put your elbows on the dining room table. Always wipe your shoes. If you've been in the garden, don't ever burp. If you do, say pardon. Don't put your feet on the new city. If she offers you a sugar lump, don't take 3. Don't dunk your biscuits. Don't make crumbs. Don't bite nails and don't suck thumbs. Don't shock the budgie. Don't tease the peak. Speak when you're spoken to, or else don't speak. Do as you're told. And if you're not able, don't go to tea with my Auntie Mabel. Thank you.
Little Red Riding Hood by Roald Dahl. As soon as Wolf began to feel that he would like a decent meal, he went and knocked on Grandma's door. When Grandma opened it, she saw the sharp white teeth, the horrid grin, and Wolfie said, "May I come in?" Poor Grandmama was terrified. "He's going to eat me up," she cried. And she was absolutely right. He ate her up in one big bite. But Grandmama was small and tough. Wolfie wailed, "That's not enough! I haven't yet begun to feel that I have had a decent meal." He ran around the kitchen yelping, "I've got to have a second helping!" Then added with a frightful laugh, "Therefore,
I'm going to wait right here till little Miss Red Riding Hood comes home from walking in the woods. He quickly put on Grandma's clothes. Of course, he hadn't eaten those. He dressed himself in coat and hat. He put on shoes, and after that, he even brushed and curled his hair. Then sat himself in Grandma's chair. In came the little girl in red. She stopped, she stared, and then she said, "What great big ears you have, Grandma!"
All the better to hear you with,
the wolf replied. "What great big eyes you have, Grandma!" said Little Red Riding Hood.
all the better to see you with,
the wolf replied. He sat there watching her and smiled. He thought, "I'm going to eat this child. Compared to her old grandmama, she is going to taste like caviar." But then Little Red Riding Hood said, "But Grandma, what a great big lovely furry coat you have on there."
"That's wrong,"
cried the wolf.
"Have you forgot to tell me what big teeth I've got?"
"Oh, well, no matter what you say, I'm going to eat you anyway." The small girl smiles. One eyelid flickers. She whips a pistol from her knickers. She aims it at the creature's head, and bang, 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 she shoots him dead. A few weeks later, in the wood, I came across Miss Riding Hood. But what a change! No cloak of red, no silly hood upon her head. And she said,
"Hello, and please do note my lovely furry wolfskin coat."
"Thank you."
The Adventures of Isabel, poem by Ogden Nash. Isabel met an enormous bear. Isabel didn't care. The bear was hungry, the bear was ravenous, the bear's big mouth was cruel and cavernous. The bear said, "Isabel, nice to meet you. How do, Isabel? Now I'll eat you." Isabel didn't worry. Isabel didn't scream or scurry. She washed her hands and straightened her hair up. Then Isabel quietly ate the bear up. Once in a night, as black as pitch, Isabel met a wicked old witch. The witch's face was cross and wrinkled. The witch's gums with teeth were sprinkled. "Ho, ho, Isabel," the old witch crowed, "I'll turn you into an ugly toad." Isabel didn't worry. Isabel didn't scream or scurry. She showed no rage, she showed no rancor, but she turned the witch to milk and drank her. Isabel met a hideous giant. Isabel continued self-reliant. The giant was hairy, the giant was horrid. He had one eye in the middle of his forehead. "Good morning, Isabel," the giant said. "I'll grind your bones to make my bread." Isabel didn't worry. Isabel didn't scream or scurry. She nibbled the zibberwick that she always fed off, and when it was done, she cut the giant's head off. Isabel met a troublesome doctor. He punched and he poked till he really shocked her. The doctor's talk was of coughs and chills. The doctor's satchel bulged with bills. The doctor said unto Isabel, "Swallow this, it will make you well." Isabel didn't worry. Isabel didn't scream or scurry. She took the pills from the pill concoctor, and Isabel calmly cured the doctor. Thank you.
The Crocodile by Roald Dahl. No animal is half so wild as Crocky Walk the crocodile. On Saturdays, he likes to crunch 6 juicy children for his lunch. And he especially enjoys just 3 of each. 3 girls, 3 boys. He smears the boys to make them hot with mustard from the mustard pot. But mustard doesn't go with girls. It tastes all wrong with blacks and girls. With them, what goes extremely well is butterscotch and caramel. It's such a super marvelous treat. When boys are hot and girls are sweet, at least that's Crocky's point of view. He ought to know he's had a few. That's all for now. It's time for bed. Lie down and rest your sleepy head. Shh! Listen, what is that I hear? Go lumping softly up the stair. Go lock the door and fetch my gun. Go inside. Hurry, quickly, run. No, stop, stand back. He's coming in. Oh, look at that greedy, greenish skin. The shining teeth. The greedy smile. It's Crocky Walk, the crocodile. Thank you.
That was wonderful. I am sure you will agree that we have a lot of talent in our primary children. With this, we come to the end of our primary English elocution competition. I think that the judges are going to have a tough time deciding on the winners. We now request our judges to say a few words and give us their precious words of wisdom to better our performances next time. Thereafter, the winners will be announced.
Hi everyone, and thank you for having us here. I'm sure I speak on behalf of all the judges, and it's an amazing experience for each one of us here. The only words that come to my mind is when to describe all of you, and your performance is awesome, plain awesome. You guys are like little magicians who weave magic with your words, your pronunciation, your intonation, your poise, your confidence, your body language, everything added to this event. And that made judging really, really tough. So go ahead and keep doing what you are doing, because you are very, very good and you can only get better. Just a word of caution, this is an elocution competition and not drama. So we need to be a little mindful about, dramatization, over dramatization. This being an elocution competition, we need to cut down a little bit on that enthusiasm and a little bit on drama, because that is distracting. Otherwise, everything was bang on. And as again I say, it's the judges. We had a tough time, deciding whom the award should go to. But for us, all of you are winners and you all can only get better at it. So wishing you all the very best and congratulations to each and every one of you, and all the best.
Hi, I'm Ms. Nisha Manyar, and I've judged your primary education competition. I must say that each and every one of you were excellent. The skill of clear, expressive speech, especially distinct pronunciation and articulation of the poems that you chose. The choice of poems were beyond compare. So I congratulate each and every one of you. Winning and losing is not important. Participating is so important. So let me call out the winners for level 1. I'll read them out. So it's first Renaya Lakhani from the Panther House. The second place goes to Thea Turel Pradhan. She's from the Tiger House. And the third is Anaisha Murarka from the Panther House. So fantastic, great effort, congratulations.
third place, we have Anaisha Murarka, 2B Panther House. In second place, we have Tia Turel Pradhan, 2B Tiger House. In first place, we have Rinaya Lakhani, 2A Panther House.
I'm sure you guys are really excited to find out who the winners are for the Level 2 competition. But before I announce the results, I would just like to quickly congratulate all of you for participating in this event. I watched all your videos and they were so good. Every one of you did such a good job. The enthusiasm, the acting, your expressions, it was a joy to watch, and I have really enjoyed getting to know each of you through your performances. But now it's time to hear the results. In third place, from the Tiger House, we have Siana Tandon. In second place, from the Lion House, we have Dharani Zaveri. And finally, the first place from, what do you guess? From the Jaguar House, we have Saira Bhupati. Congratulations to all of the winners.
In third place, Siana Tandon, 3B Tiger House. In second place, Dharini Zaveri, 3A Lion House. In first place, we have Saira Bhupati, 4B Jaguar House.